My name is Cameron Orr, and I call this electroclassical. I started looping maybe 2.5 to 3 years ago or so. I had originally bought the looper to use in the context of a band I was playing with to try to fill out the sound a little bit more. And but it just kind of sat around for a while because I was trying to figure out. I didn't really understand it, so then I finally took the manual out and figured it out. So here's an octave pedal. It's called a Pog 2, and that allows me to go up or down an octave, like 1 or 2 octaves. So this is like down an octave, so it gives it kind of a cello. And then so you can set all your own things, make all your own presets and then save them. So I have that like cello type of thing. And then this is like, and when I'm plucking, this allows me to do some bass type of things. Then I have another one that's even lower, it's 2 octaves down. So it sounds more like a bass. And then I have another preset that's like, gives me an extra octave up, so it's a little bit more of a ring kind of tone. It's almost like a steel drum kind of effect. And then this is an overdrive, so that's like kind of a classic guitar pedal. So like, and then this is delay. So a lot of times I'll be like, you know, tapping it, especially at the beginning of a song. So that's, I'm just setting how fast the delay is going to be. So like, or if I go slower. So I just kind of set the rate, and then can hold it down, and I just turn it on and off. So that gives me like an echo effect. You know, the tips that I get from playing. I also definitely feel from busking that I'm part of a pretty like long and rich tradition of busking in New York City, and there's a community there of other buskers and street performers and stuff, so that's nice. And then also just feeling like I'm contributing to the culture of New York and sort of transforming spaces that are can otherwise be kind of like drab and sort of dead feeling. People just kind of waiting and in their own world. And I feel like when you bring music to the platform, it kind of not all the time, but often kind of brings people together and transforms the space into something that's sort of like creative and communal. The advantages of being not very well known is that you really only hear from the people that love it. So I definitely get a lot of positive feedback from people. People seem to feel that the music takes them to another place and sort of releases them from a lot of the pressures of just running around trying to survive in New York City. I came to New York in 2004 originally to study at Mannes College of Music. So I came there to study. I was at Mannes College of Music for 2 years, and then I left for financial reasons, and I was trying to transfer to CUNY, and it wasn't a smooth transfer, so I was back home in Jersey for a semester, and then came back and started studying at CUNY, and that's when I started studying jazz seriously. So in terms of the difference between New York City, living in an urban environment, and coming from the rural parts of New Jersey, there's definitely huge cultural gaps. New York City is very obviously vibrant. You have so many culture smashing together. You know, people come and go a lot in New York City, so I feel like the networks are often shifting and changing a lot, but that's one of the things that keeps me here. Comparing that to the rural life, you have a lot of, time slows down a lot, and I think that's great. But at the same time, it's a very cloistered environment, so people are able to hold ideas that are just very uninformed by what other people experience around the world. So a lot of social significance to New York City, and having lived here for so long, I feel a little bit of a interest in being involved politically in New York City, and I'm interested in pursuing more like what does it mean to invest in this city, and invest in some of the social landscape and social struggle, and as an artist trying to figure that out. So in terms of what my music is about, there's two different sides of it, I guess. I mean, there's strictly just the music, just the aesthetic side, and then now that I'm trying to get more into the lyric writing and singing part of it, and there's definitely some more concrete ideas that I'm trying to convey. But it's definitely a mixture of my own existential kind of inner life. So this is my primary violin. I got it when I was halfway through high school, and a teacher of mine, one of my favorite teachers, Byung-Koo Kwak, he had another student whose mother was a professional violinist, and this was her violin, and she was battling cancer, and so she was selling the violin, and I bought it from her. This thing on the wall right here is really just a decoration. My family found it on the curb. It's kind of like an old mandolin or lute type. I mean, it's not a lute, but it's I'm not even sure what it is. It's an old string instrument. And this guy is the synth that I'm normally using with my smaller setup. So this just goes straight into the rig, and then out it's not. So all the sounds are inside the keyboard. This guy is just controlling the synths in the computer. I can get different sounds out of this. And a lot of these sounds I can just make myself. And then it also has all these controls that I can assign to different levels inside the computer. So I can adjust the volume of the loops, the volume of the violin, the volume of this guy. So that has a lot of different functions. A tiny little kitty keyboard that I use sometimes when I'm busking. Oh, it's got no batteries right now. Okay. Anyway, so sometimes I'll be playing with that. And then the computer, I'm using Live for Ableton Live for making drum clips, and if I'm making my own demos, or if eventually when I'm using this whole bigger setup in a live setting. In terms of where I'm trying to go in the future, I'm still trying to figure out how to balance the necessity of having to make music a career, and also wanting to speak, and wanting my art to be mostly about the things that I care about and the values that I want to promote and the narratives that I'm want to build, and so there's some tension between those two things.